ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। I think I'll directly do from this Mataji, this Veda base. Maybe at the end you can share the presentation what you have.
Sure, Prabhu. You want me to share the presentation? I'll do that, Prabhu. I'll just save the file and share it in a moment, Prabhu. Go ahead, Prabhu.
I'll just start with this. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So translation reads like this: by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So there is a detailed purport by Srila Prabhupada, purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here is the remedy for eliminating all inauspicious things within the heart, which are considered to be obstacles in the path of self-realization. The remedy is the association of the Bhagavatas. There are two types of Bhagavatas, namely the book Bhagavata and the devotee Bhagavata. Both the Bhagavatas are competent remedies, and both of them or either of them can be good enough to eliminate the obstacles. A devotee Bhagavata is as good as the book Bhagavata because the devotee Bhagavata leads his life in terms of the book Bhagavata, and the book Bhagavata is full of information about the personality of Godhead and his pure devotees who are also Bhagavatas. Bhagavata, book and person are identical. The devotee Bhagavata is a direct representative of Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. So by pleasing the devotee Bhagavata, one can receive the benefit of the book Bhagavata. Human reason fails to understand how by serving the devotee Bhagavata or the book Bhagavata, one gets gradual promotion on the path of devotion. But actually, these are facts explained by Srila Narada Deva, who happened to be a maidservant's son in his previous life. The maidservant was engaged in the menial service of the sages, and thus he also came into contact with them. And simply by associating with them and accepting the remnants of foodstuff left by the sages, the son of the maidservant got the chance to become the great devotee and personality Srila Narada Deva. These are the miraculous effects of the association of the Bhagavatas. And to understand these effects practically, it should be noted that by such sincere association of the Bhagavatas, one is sure to receive transcendental knowledge very easily, with the result that he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. The more progress is made in devotional service under the guidance of the Bhagavatas, the more one becomes fixed in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The messages of the book Bhagavata therefore have to be received from the devotee Bhagavata, and the combination of these two Bhagavatas will help the neophyte devotee to make progress on and on. So Srila Prabhupada has given many lectures. One of the lectures I heard Prabhupada was telling, this shloka, Bhagavata Seva is recommended. Krishna is not talking about Bhagavan Seva. Bhagavan Seva, yes, we are all servants of Krishna. We have to serve Krishna, no doubt. But here, what is spoken is Bhagavata Seva. In connection with Krishna. Whatever is connection with Krishna, that is said as Bhagavata. Krishna is Bhagavan. In relationship with Krishna, whatever, particularly the devotee, the pure devotee who is in relationship with Bhagavan is a Bhagavata. Similarly, this book, this literature, which is about descriptions of Krishna, that is also Bhagavata in connection with Bhagavan. So not only that is Bhagavata, anything in connection with Krishna, that becomes Bhagavata. So Srila Prabhupada says that temple is also in connection with Krishna. Temple, the whole temple, not only the deity in the temple, but the whole temple itself, it is connected with Krishna. It is also Bhagavata. The preaching, that is also Bhagavata because it is in connection with Krishna. So whatever connection with Krishna, that is called Bhagavata. And here the stress is given to Bhagavata Seva, not directly Bhagavan Seva, Bhagavata Seva. And Srila Prabhupada continued to say that just that the conversation between Parvati, Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva, when Mother Parvati is asking which worship is highest, there Lord Shiva says, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnor Aradhanam Param. Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samarchanam. So, first of all, Lord Shiva says, of all different kinds of worship, so many kinds of worship, people are worshipping so many devatas, so many, they create gods, so many avatars, so many yogis, so many babas, so many people do so many ways. But of all kinds, the highest worship is worship of Vishnu. But then Lord Shiva continues saying, Tasmat Parataram Devi, there is something better than Vishnu worship, something higher than Vishnu worship, and that is Tadiyanam Samarchanam. Tadiya means connection with Krishna. So Bhagavata. So Bhagavata is anything connection with Krishna, the temple, not only the devotee, the pure devotee is in connection with Krishna, definitely we worship. Acharyo Pasanam, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, 20 aspects of knowledge, Krishna says, Acharyo Pasanam. One of the aspects is Acharya Pasanam, worship of the Acharyas. Acharyam Mam Vijaniyam Navamanyeta Karichit. So in the Bhagavatam also further it is said, Krishna says, Acharya, you have to, it is me, Acharya. You have to respect him as I am. So Acharya Upasanam, the pure devotee, Bhagavata Upasanam, worship, service of the pure devotee is recommended. Similarly is the book Bhagavatam, the Grantha. Srimad Bhagavatam is said to be in another place. It is the avatar of Krishna. Krishna Yasvadamopagate Dharma Gnanadi Bissaha Kalau Nashtadrushamesham Puranarko Aduna Uditaha. So Krishna has gone back to his spiritual world. No, Krishna is always there everywhere, but he is unmanifest in that way after his incarnation when he was visible 5,000 years back. So what takes his place? This Bhagavatam, book Bhagavatam takes the place. So book Bhagavatam is in connection with Krishna, so it is very important for us. Similarly, the temple, similarly the preaching, similarly distribution of books, similarly worship of Tulsi Maharani, so everything, because it is Bhagavatam, it is in connection with Bhagavan. So it is more important for us to get in touch with Bhagavan directly. So Bhagavata Seva is very, very important. So primarily, Srila Prabhupada in the purport is telling this Bhagavata Seva primarily means two things, the pure devotee Bhagavata and the book Bhagavata. Otherwise, in a lecture, Srila Prabhupada explains not only these two things, anything in connection, that is also Bhagavata, he says. But purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying, Bhagavata primarily is book Bhagavata and person Bhagavata. So the book Bhagavata, the literal translation says, by regularly attending the classes or regularly hearing this Bhagavata, directly hearing. Serving the book Bhagavata means hearing the book Bhagavata and then trying to follow this book Bhagavata, whatever the instruction given there. So that way we render service to the book Bhagavata. But we have to hear this book Bhagavata from the person Bhagavata. Bhagavata Paragiya Bhagavata Sthani. So you might have all heard this instance when one big scholar, he comes and meets Swarup Damodar Goswami, because anything to be presented before Lord Chaitanya, it has to go through his secretary, Swarup Damodar Goswami. So that scholar, he had composed some verses, very beautiful verses in praise of Lord Chaitanya. So he wanted to present. So before presenting to Lord Chaitanya, he presented before Swarup Damodar Goswami and all the other associates of Lord Chaitanya. So when it was presented, the prayers, the poetry, everybody started Oh, wow, what, very nice, very nice, very nice. But Swarup Damodar Goswami became very angry. In the sense, he showed his mood of anger. And then he said, what you are presenting, it is all full of fault. And he pointed out the faults in the poetry, whatever that big scholar Sanskrit Pandit had presented. Then, but Pandit was uh, he was humble. He understood the reproachment from Sarup Damodar Goswami, because in that composition he had compared Lord Chaitanya and Lord Jagannatha, and he was saying both are same. And he was saying Lord Jagannatha is the body, Lord Chaitanya is the soul. So he was trying to that way give some interpretation, some his own concoction, and then trying to say Lord Jagannatha is not moving, is inert, but now Lord Chaitanya is moving, is the active principle, just like in the body, the active principle is soul. Like that, he started making some his own kind of a analogy, his own kind of a connection, saying Jagannatha has now come as Lord Chaitanya, but still he is the soul, he is the active personality, and Jagannatha is not the soul, is the body. Is trying to make kind of a speculation and some kind of a mix-up. So no, we should not do that. As it is in the Shastra, we should understand the Tattva, we should understand the philosophy properly. So that time, after Swarup Damodar Goswami chastised that Brahmana, then the Brahmana submitted. He said, kindly guide me. So then Swarup Damodar Goswami took compassion on him and he said, Bhagavata Paragiya Bhagavata Sthane. You understand, you learn Bhagavatam from the person Bhagavatam. So we are all at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. We are trying to understand what is this Bhagavatam and following even Srila Prabhupada's disciples, our Guru Maharaj, so many senior Vaishnavas. So we are trying to, who have served Prabhupada, the Mahabhagavata, who have followed these instructions in life. So we are trying to follow in their footsteps, understand from their life, understand from their teachings. Then we are trying to follow. So it is said, this is a process. This is a process wherein we actually understand what is Bhagavatam and we actually derive the benefit from the Bhagavatam. So Bhagavata Seva. So this Bhagavata Seva, here it is said, we have to do it Nityam. So Srila Prabhupada, that's why he says, not that Bhagavata Seva means, Bhagavata hearing means, we hear for 7 days, Bhagavata Saptaha, and then we forget it, over, my business is over. No. Here it's very clearly said, Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Nityam means daily. Nityam means regularly. So it is just like I'm breathing. I have to breathe continuously so that I live. If my breathing stops, then I'm dead. Similarly, our spiritual life means it is continuous. The Bhagavata Seva, the reading, the hearing the Bhagavatam, or the serving the personality Bhagavatam is continuous. Is eternal occupation of ours. Nityam Bhagavatam. So and particularly in the sadhana stage, it is very, very important. Just like any medicine, we have to regularly take. Then only we get the result. So similarly, Bhagavata, it is not that Parikshit Maharaj heard the Bhagavat for 7 days. So I will also do like that 7 days. I will attend some Bhagavat Saptaha and my business is finished. No. So Srila Prabhupada, from this verse, very particularly said, you have to regularly, you have to daily hear Bhagavatam. That is why he stipulated in the movement, ISKCON movement, daily Bhagavatam class. So we have daily morning, there is a Bhagavatam class, and daily evening, there is a Bhagavad Gita. Daily evening, as much as possible, there is Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, Bhagavatam is a must. Any ISKCON temple, any center around the world, this happens. Bhagavatam class happens. So the daily devotees should assemble, should discuss, should try to understand this Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So there are very some instances wherein Acharya gave some disciples approval for doing Bhagavad Saptaha, but in a way which following the Purva Acharyas. Not generally what is done in the Bhagavad Saptaha is directly jumping into Krishna's Rasa Leela. So where we are having the qualification to understand Krishna's Rasa Leela, we have no qualification. We are very, very far away. So Bhagavatam takes us systematically from the first canto, second, and finally 10th canto. Then if Krishna's mercy is there, Acharya's mercy is there, then we may be able to understand, appreciate those intimate pastimes of the Lord. So this is the process. The process is slowly, gradually, regularly hearing Bhagavatam. We progress step by step by step. So here it is said, what will happen by this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya? Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. So all our abhadras, all our dirty things, so many dirty things are there, so many inauspicious things are there in our heart. So it is said by this Bhagavata Seva. Previous shloka said just by Krishna Katha, this abhadras will go. Krishna will personally clean our heart. But in this shloka, it is said saying either the hearing Bhagavatam or serving Bhagavatam, serving anything in connection with Krishna also, same effect will happen, wherein all our abhadras, all our obstacles, all our things will be nashta, will be cleared. And Srila Prabhupada tells, prayeshu abhadreshu. Praya means almost. So praya, almost. So almost means how much it is. It is 99%, 95%, 90%. How much percentage is praya? Srila Prabhupada says, what is this praya? Anybody can say? Anybody can unmute and say? Some guess? How much percent?
75%. 75%.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. 75%. Yes. So Srila, I don't know how much contamination each one of us have. Our own contamination, we don't know how much it is. So everybody, but Prabhupada gives the general thing, 75%. So because above 50%, 50% is just halfway through, but it says almost. So what it means by almost is, Srila Prabhupada says, 75%. So 75% of our dirtiness, so many abhadras sitting in our heart, or so many dirty things. So it all inauspicious things, it also considered as inauspicious. It's all inauspicious. So if it gets cleared, it is said, then actually Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. So Krishna, the Supreme Lord, who is praised by Uttama Shloke, by very, very choice poetry. So he's praised by that. Uttama Shloke, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Then our devotion to that personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, it becomes Naishtiki. Naishtiki, the word Naishtiki and Nishta. So all of us have heard in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami gives us the stages. Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Atha Bhajana Kriya, Tato Anartha Nivritti Syat, then Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. So 9 stages the Acharya has given to us. So this 5th stage, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, and then 5th one is Nishta. So here it is said, this Anartha Nivritti, by Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, 75% of the Anarthas, so many Anarthas we have, so many. So it says 75% of the Anarthas go away, Nivritti, they are all gone. Those habits, those addictions, those sinful activities, it is all cleared off, 75%. Then it is said, we come to the stage of Nishta, Naishtiki and Nishta, the words, they are both similar, Nishta, Naishtiki, irrevocable devotional service. They become fixed in devotional service. So till that time, it is supposed to be that we are not very fixed in devotional service. So our sadhana is, it is said sometimes it is a wobbling sadhaka. Wobbling means here, there, pendulum, like a pendulum, we are moving here and there. So when we become fixed, that will happen when our contaminations will go away. Our contaminations will go away. So in this shloka, the stages of devotion service, starting from the previous shlokas, I think 15, 16, this starts the 9 stages. The devotees are given a analysis. Every shloka, the stages are being described. So in this shloka, we can say 4th and 5th stage are being described. The Anartha Nivritti and then Nishta, that is being described in this shloka. We can, if we try to connect Sri Rupa Goswami's explanation of the Bhakti stages and the Bhagavatam explanation here, we can say 4th and 5th stage, primarily 5th stage. The 4th stage, 75% of the contamination is gone. Then a devotee enters into the 5th stage. The 5th stage is also a very, very advanced stage, very Nishta. One way it is said Madhyamadhikari. We also have heard sometimes Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari as different stages in the development of devote service. This Nishta stage is said to be Madhyamadhikari, a Madhyamadhikari who is fixed, and because of his fixity in devote service, he can convince another person, he can inspire another person. So Kanishta is where we are in the lower stages, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So in this, we are struggling ourselves to become fixed in devote service. They're struggling to control the senses, struggling to follow the disciplines of devote service. So this is the Kanishta Adhikari. So Madhyama Adhikari itself is also a higher stage. So sometimes it is said Nishta, from the Nishta stage is Madhyama. It is also explained like that. So anyway, this shloka, this purport, Srila Prabhupada is primarily focusing on remedy is given here. So it says, keeps 3 times he has used the word remedy. Here is the remedy for eliminating all inauspicious things within the heart. And then he says again, the remedy is the association of the Bhagavatas. And then again he's telling, both the Bhagavatas are competent remedies. So remedy. So this is the solution. This is the way we can advance in devotion service by the association of Bhagavatas. And the end Prabhupada is telling, either both of these Bhagavatas or one of this, that is sufficient. So maybe sometimes it's not possible to have the association of person Bhagavatam, but this book Bhagavatam is there for us. So we can associate with this book Bhagavatam. Or if we have the opportunity, the person Bhagavatam, definitely we should take advantage and we should serve the person Bhagavatam. And by serving the person Bhagavatam, it is said, human reason fails to understand how we get human reason fails to understand how by serving the person devotee Bhagavatam or the book Bhagavatam, one gets gradual promotion on the path of devotion. And then the purport Prabhupada is giving the story of Narad Muni. So Narad Muni, so it comes further in the further chapters, but you all have heard how Narad Muni was cursed. He was cursed to become a son of a maid servant. He was previously a Gandharva, living in the upper planetary systems. From there, he was cursed to become a son of a maid servant. So from where to where? But still, there was no loss. In that life, he got the opportunity of associating with Bhakti Vedantas, of Mahabhagavatas. He got the opportunity through his mother. His mother happened to be in the service of those Bhagavatas. And she was giving menial service here, it is said. So Narad Muni also got involved. And by serving them, it is said, he got attraction towards them. He started hearing what they are speaking. He also got inspired, got interested in Krishna Katha. And then once he begged from them, kindly, if I can have your remnants, the prasada, the uchishta. So by taking their permission, he took the prasadam, the Mahaprasada of those pure devotees. And it is said, by that, he got even more increased his taste in devotional service. He went on to Ruchi, Asakti, like that. So, and by that, he became later on the great personality. Srila Prabhupada says he is a devotee in his own category. So nobody can equal him. In his own way, he is a great devotee, Narada. So he became such a great personality. But he started in this life as a son of a maid servant. So from where to where? So all by the association of the persons Bhagavata. So it's a very important verse, and all of you will know this verse because we all chant this verse before attending our Bhagavatam class. So we congregationally chant. So, and this verse also quoted by Srila Prabhupada when he was on the ship. When he was on the ship, he wrote a poetry where he was praying to Lord Krishna to empower him, to give him strength, so that he can convince the Western audience. So he says, it is very difficult in the Western country, but still I have great faith in the holy name. And by this process of hearing Bhagavatam, definitely there will be a change of heart. So Srila Prabhupada, when he had written the first canto of Bhagavatam, then he felt himself ready now to travel to the Western countries and then start the preaching, start the movement. So he writes this verse, this series of verses, Shrunvatam Swakata Krishna to Nashta Prayesh Vabhadreshu to next 2-3 verses. He quotes that in his poetry, what he has written on board the ship Jaladuta. So Srila Prabhupada has given this. And also in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, the purport, Srila Prabhupada, when he's talking about how by hearing, we can, what is the 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita, first shloka? Anybody can quote?
Maya saktamana partha yogam munjam
Madashraya.
संशयं समग्रह्मां यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Mataji. So, tat shrunu. So, tat shrunu. So, Krishna is telling Arjuna, if you hear from me, so then all your samshayas, all your doubts will be gone. So, and then you execute this devote service under my shelter, Madashayaha. So, Srila Prabhupada in the purport there also quotes the same series of shlokas. He says, Shanvatam Swakata Krishna onwards, this Nashra Prayeshu Abhadreshu, then Tada Rajastamo Bhava, then Evam Prasanna Manaso. He quotes this whole series of shlokas and reinforces our faith that let us continue this process of hearing the book Bhagavatam. This is a remedy for us for removing all the dirty things. We have so many unlimited dirty things, but this remedy is there, this medicine is there for us. It is definitely going to act. So it is going to act, it is universal medicine. So it has acted for millions of people before. It will act on myself also. I am not, for me, it is not that it will not act. Definitely it will act on me also. So we can get that faith, get that conviction, and we can accept this process. Okay. So I think I'll proceed. I'll proceed to the next verse because there are so many verses. Till 25, I'm supposed to finish. तदारजस्तमो भावा कामलोभादयश्चये ये चेतयेतैरनाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति. So then, when we are in the process of hearing this book Bhagavatam, when we are in the process of serving the person Bhagavatam, then all these 75% of contaminations have gone away. Then we come to the Nishtha stage. Then it is said, at the Nishtha stage, when we reach Madhyamadika, that stage when we reach, Tada, then Rajas Tamo Bhava, all the Raja Tama which was there, all will vanish. So Nashta, what is it? Abhadras? It is said this is Abhadras are the in Rajoguna and Tamoguna. The symptom of that is lust. Kama is lust. Lobha is greed. Adaya, others. They are all brothers and sisters. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So they are all there. They are all there haunting us. So they are, and Tamo. The Tamo Guna means inactivity, sleep, foolishness. It's not interested. They're not interested to do anything. So inactivity. Actually, soul is eternally active. Even in the sleep, we are active. So it is not that at perfection we become inactive. We are always active. But we are active in Krishna consciousness. We are active in remembrance of Krishna, in service to Krishna. But Tamoguna is such that we become totally inactive. It's a peculiar characteristic of the spirit soul. Very, very peculiar characteristic. Atma by itself is very, very active. But somehow unfortunate, we got imprisoned in these shackles of material existence, this Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So this is haunting us, ghost haunting like that it is. So it is said. So that time when we come to Nishta stage, all this Rajoguna, Tamoguna, all this Kama, Lobha, this inactivity, foolishness, sleep, all those will go away. Then Chetayetair Anaviddham Sitam Sattve Prasidati. These are all like it is said, it is like piercing us continuously like a sword. Something is piercing us like that. Is Rajoguna, Tamoguna is actually piercing our heart or piercing our consciousness, our mind, moment to moment. So when all this is driven away, then Sitam Sattve Prasidati. Then actually we come to Sattva. So Sattva is also not the natural state of the soul. Sattva is also an infectious state of the soul. It's also it's not a recovered state. Okay, but at least it is something like almost recovery. That's what it is said. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. Almost recovered. 75% recovery has happened. So that way Sattva is a state wherein we are free from Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Then some kind of happiness will come. Prasidati. So otherwise, the Rajoguna happiness, Tamoguna happiness is not happiness at all. The Tamoguna happiness is foolishness, in inactivity, in sleep. Rajoguna happiness is some temporary transient happiness. But more happiness, the Atma is Sachidananda, continuous happiness. But at least Sattva it is said, some light, some happiness starts. So Sitam Sattve Prasidati. Some at least some kind of a satisfaction, self-satisfaction, it starts. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport talks about a living being in his normal constitutional position is fully satisfied in spiritual bliss. That is actually Vishuddha Sattva. But at least this Sattva, because this Sattva Guna, there is some contamination from the Rajoguna and Tamoguna. It is not pure Sattva Guna. There is always a chance of being contaminated. Like we hear the story of Ajamila. Ajamila was actually situated in this Sattva Guna. Yeah, he was qualified as a Brahmana. His father had trained him as a Brahmana. But unfortunately, he got again touched by the Rajoguna and Tamoguna. He was pulled down. So that's why it is said, this is where Sattva is there, but it is not a complete recovery, complete health recovery. Just like sometimes we are taking some medicine, we feel better. The doctor has given us some medicine. We feel after 2 days it is better. Then we say, stop the medicine. And when we stop the medicine, after 2-3 days, again it will come back. So that's how the Sattva is where we don't continue our Krishna consciousness. We don't raise ourselves from Sattva. There is a chance of again coming down, Rajoguna. So that is why the full recovery state is where we come to Shuddha Sattva. So there it is said, there is no coming back. Yad gatva na nivartante tad dama paramam mama. The Lord says in Gita, if somebody comes to my abode, that going to Krishna's abode is possible in Shuddha Sattva. So he says, then there is no coming back. There is no coming back means there is no coming back to this material Sattva Guna, material Rajoguna, material Tamoguna. So in that state, it is said we actually become happy. In that state, our happiness starts. It starts. And in the last paragraph, Srila Prabhupada is also continuing to say that unless we raise ourselves to Shuddha Sattva Guna, actually we are harming others. A devotee is always in the mode of unlawful goodness. Therefore, he harms no one. But the non-devotee, however educated he may be, is always harmful. A devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. The harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord. However, they may advertise themselves as devotees by outward dress. So practically, we can say one way, they're advertising by wearing this saffron dress as a devotee. But actually, because the Tamoguna, Rajoguna is there, the foolishness is there, passionate tendencies are there, then we're actually arming. We're actually arming. So the real devotee, the pure devotee, being freed from this Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and is situated in Shuddha Sattva Guna, they are actually pure, they are devotee. In the strict sense of the term, they are not devotee. They are not devotee. So it is said, devotee means is Shuddha Sattva Guna. In stricter condition, stricter definition, if you go by what Prabhupada is telling, we are all non-devotees one way. Many of us, not all of us, some people may be there, pure devotees, very difficult to identify. Some people will be pure devotees. Always, they can be there. They may not advertise themselves, or they may not show themselves. But otherwise, majority of us, we know we are pinched by this Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So it is there. We are, by nature, we are said to be non-devotees. And one of the purports here, Srila Prabhupada says, Brahmana is in Sattva-guna. Otherwise, if Rajoguna and Tamoguna is there, that is said to be Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So, though many of us may have taken the Brahmana Diksha, calling ourselves as Brahmana, actually we are not Brahmanas, because Rajoguna is there, Tamoguna is there. That is why Srila Prabhupada, Brahmana Diksha, he says, initiation, second initiation. The first initiation, the Harinama Diksha also, Prabhupada tells it's initiation. Initiation means beginning. Similarly, Brahmana Diksha also, he translates as second initiation. That means that to become a Brahmana, a chance is given to us. A chance is given to come to Sattva-guna. Not that by Brahmana Diksha, by Brahmana initiation, I become a Brahmana. No. The Brahmana is itself a very big stage. It's a very big achievement to be in Sattva-guna. Many times Srila Prabhupada says, at least try to be in Sattva-guna. If we leave our body in Sattva-guna, it is said, we may not reach the spiritual world, at least we'll go to heavenly planets, upper planets. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha. Otherwise, the Rajoguna, Tamoguna, if I continue to be in Rajoguna, Tamoguna, there is every chance that I will not go upper planets. Instead, I will just remain where I am, or otherwise, much worse, I can go to the lower species. So that is why Sattva-guna, to achieve Sattva-guna, at least is an important thing. Just like it is said, sometimes we have to go from here. We have to go from here to Delhi. From Mangaluru, we have to go to Delhi. So definitely we have to cross through So many states. Maharashtra we have to cross through, then we have to cross through Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan. That is the way, that is the route. I cannot say I will go to Delhi, then suddenly without passing over the skies of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, I will directly jump in Delhi. How it is possible? We don't have such yoga siddhi or anything like that, that I can vanish from here and I can reach Delhi. If I have to reach Delhi, I have to go through, if I'm going by flight or if I'm going by train, train means I have to go by through Goa, Bombay, Bhopal, or Surat, with different route, whatever. But this is the way I can go to Delhi. I cannot just jump over sitting in the train here. Rajdhani Express from Mangalore, it has directly taken me to Nizamuddin station in night. No, it is not possible. Similarly, to become pure devotee, we are having this Rajoguna, Tamoguna. We have to go to this Satvaguna station. Satvaguna, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains Shama, Dama, Tapa, Shaucham, Kshantir, Arjam, Evacha, Gnanam, Vignanam, Astikyam, Brahma, Karma, Svabhavajam. 9 qualities Krishna lists. So where is this Shama? Where is this mind control? Where is this sense control? Where is this tapasya? Where is this satyam, truthfulness? So one nice lecture Srila Prabhupada says, take your certificate yourself, because we want certificate. Always we all want Bhakti Shastri certificate, Bhakti Vaibhav certificate. Then we want Brahmana, Harinama Diksha, then Brahmana Diksha, then Sannyas Diksha. Something like that, we will have so many stampings we want. Or graduate, postgraduate, then PhD, doctorate, like this we want. So Srila Prabhupada says, you take your certificate yourself. Each one of us, we can test ourselves. Others may not know what I am, but I myself at least I know. Krishna definitely knows everything, more than me, he knows me. But at least I also know that how much of Rajoguna is there in me, how much of Tamoguna is there in me. And by this, I can give myself certificate. Yes, how much I have advanced. So that way also these shlokas are nicely giving us information about where we are situated in devotional service, about how much more, the long way to go for ourselves to assess, self-assessment, how we have to progress in devotional service. Okay. 20th verse, Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vignanam mukta sangasya jayate. So in that Sattva-guna, it is said, actually, as we heard, the happiness starts and my mind becomes very fresh, very prasanna. Dharma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kanchati. Prasanna, happy. So it is said, in that happy state, then by continuing the process of bhakti yoga, Bhagavat bhakti yogataha, Bhagavat bhakti yogataha. Very clearly it is said, this process of Bhagavat bhakti. What will happen? Bhagavat tattva vignanam, real understanding, real realization of Bhagavat tattva will happen. Now we know some theory. It's a mercy of Lord Chaitanya. It's a mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the mercy of Hare Krishna mantra. So we didn't have any faith, but just taking up little practices, small practice of devote service, we got so much faith. We got so much mercy that we are able to accept this philosophy and we are able to practice this. But it is said the factual realization will happen when we come to Sattva Guna, when we become happy, peaceful, and then we get all this darshan. So we don't have the darshan now, it's a theory now. But this will happen when we come to Sattva Guna and we become happy, then we will be able to understand Bhagavat Tattva Vignanam. Practically, we'll realize that knowledge, not a theory. Now it's a theoretical knowledge. Oh, I am soul. Of course, as we chant Hare Krishna, we get the faith, we get the small realizations. But being fixed in that realization will happen in this stage. Then Bhagavat Tattva Vignanam, oh Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am his eternal servant. My only duty is to serve Krishna. I have no other duty. So all these things, all these revelations, it becomes very, very natural, very, very clear. Bhagavat Tattva Vignanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. It is said, then we become liberated. We become liberated. Mukta Sangasya Jayate. And Acharya Prabhupada, sometimes he saw some disciple. So we are always like that. Our mood swing up and down. We are going up and down, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, sometimes midway. So he said his disciple, I order you to be happy. So as an Acharya, so yeah, founder Acharya is a person who is so close to the Supreme Personality, Krishna, so close to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya's commander-in-chief. So he doesn't want his followers, his disciples, his grand disciples. He wants us all to be happy. That is his mission. So he ordered his disciples, you be happy on my order. What is there to lament? So we are under the shelter of the great Acharya. We are under the shelter of Lord Chaitanya. We are under the shelter of this, so many Vaishnavas, seniors. So we are under the shelter of the Supreme Lord. So why we have to be unhappy? Why we have to be morose? Why we have to lament? Perfect knowledge we have. Perfect knowledge of the soul, that we are eternal. So many things happen. So many things. Sometimes somebody dies. Our own near relatives, near friends, our your pet animals. So many things happen. So it's all like a, why it happened? Oh Krishna, why it happened? So somebody without knowledge of the soul definitely will lament. But we have this knowledge in Bhagavad Gita very beginning. So it is said, soul is eternal. Just like today is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Acharya, Srila Prabhupada's Guru's disappearance day. So Srila Prabhupada says there is nothing to lament. Why we have to lament? There is nothing to lament for anybody, because every one of us is eternal. There is no destruction. It's only destruction of the body. It's not the destruction of the soul. So having this understanding, having this knowledge, why we have to lament? Why we have to be sad? There is no room. We can always be happy. We can always be happy. We are always there. Whatever it is Krishna's mercy. Whatever it is, the Lord's mercy. It's His kindness. So, evam prasanna manaso. So, this naturally comes in the stage of Sattva-guna. Now, with a lot of mental gymnastics or whatever philosophy churning, we try to situate ourselves. But it is said, suppose we reach this stage of Sattva-guna, then it is natural. It's naturally the living entity is happy. Prasanna manasa. Continuously in prasanna manasa. And in that happy state, we can actually practice more devotional service, more strictly, more pleasingly to the Krishna, to the Lord. Now it is said, our offering is like, sometimes we offer burnt chapati. We are making some chapati, cooking, but sometimes we are not careful, we are careless. With the boga, it burns. And we don't know what to do, but the boga time is also over. 11:45 Aarti, the Raj Boga has to be given to the Lord. So what to do? So we think, okay, let us give this burnt chapati. No, we should not give. So our devotional service in Rajoguna and Tamoguna is like this. It is not pleasing to Krishna. It is not very pleasing, like giving a burnt chapati. But suppose we are doing the chapati very nicely, the dough is prepared nicely, then nicely the pulka, it comes out, then we put ghee nicely. So we are, suppose even it burns, then we have the time at 11 o'clock if we are prepared, then we have got 45 minutes of, forget the chapati, we'll make some more, we'll make fresh dough or fresh another set of chapatis. So we can make. So like that, Sattva-guna is where things are very, very pleasing to the Lord. In Rajoguna, Tamoguna, service is offered, but it is not so pleasing. But anyway, it is said, because we go through the our senior devotees, our Guru, Acharya, so in the Gurushya Parampara, they accept. Directly, Krishna will not accept, but through the Guru Parampara, even though it is in Rajoguna, it is in Tamoguna, our service, they accept. The Acharyas accept. Because they are accepting, it is the Lord is accepting. So we go through the process like that. So in that Sattva-guna, if we achieve that Sattva-guna, here it is said, we can understand Bhagavad Tattva. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yashasmi tattvataha. Tato mam tattvato gnatva vishate tad anantaram. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport here says, that's the same thing what is said in Bhagavad Gita. The very same thing is confirmed here in the above words. In the same Bhagavad Gita, 1855, it is also said that scientific knowledge of Sri Krishna is understood only by the process of devotional service. Scientific knowledge. Srila Prabhupada says scientific knowledge. Why scientific knowledge? Sometimes, somewhere Prabhupada said, science means fact. So Krishna is a fact. Their Atma is a fact. So our relationship as a servant of Krishna is a fact. So this is science. The real science is facts. It is not some fiction. It is not some imagination. So Srila Prabhupada says scientific knowledge of Sri Krishna. So this scientific knowledge of Sri Krishna can be achieved only by the process of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. Bhagavat Bhakti Yoga Taha. This verse says Bhagavat Bhakti Yoga Taha. It is not saying it is Bhagavat Ashtanga Yoga Taha, or Ashtanga Yoga Taha, Gnana Yoga Taha, Karma Yoga Taha. So many people invent so many things, Raja Yoga, so many speculations. It is not saying anything. It is saying Bhagavat Bhakti Yoga Taha. So Unto Sri Krishna, Bhakti Yoga has to be executed. And Bhakti Yoga, how to execute? Bhakti Yoga has 9 elements. Starting from Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam. So this is Bhakti Yoga. So these 9 elements to Supreme Personality Krishna. Shanvatam, what is it? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho. So Bhakti Yoga means 9 elements. It is done to Vishnu. It is done to Krishna. It is not done to anybody else, any other Devata, any other personality. So only when we execute Bhakti Yoga to Krishna, to Vishnu, then actually we come to this Sattva-guna, and it becomes, what is it? It becomes stable, it becomes fixed, and we become happy. And in that happy state of consciousness, then we can understand Bhagavat Tattva. We can understand Krishna. Krishna understanding is not so easy. Krishna, everybody were able to see when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. But how many people accepted Krishna as a Supreme Personality of God? Kamsa, he could not understand. Duryodhana could not understand. Duryodhana, even when Krishna went for the peace offer at the end, Duryodhana thought he's a magician. Arrest him, bind him. All Duryodhana, Shakuni, Karna, they could not understand because they are not in Sattva-guna. So only if we come to Sattva-guna, if maybe he was getting doubt sometimes. Yes, maybe Krishna is, but still is not able to become fixed in that understanding because he's in Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So Rajoguna, Tamoguna is such that this infection is haunting us. It is an obstacle for us to advance in devotional service. So somehow, if Krishna can, we can come to Sattva-guna, then actually there is great hope for us. Then actually we can understand Krishna Tattva and be fixed in that understanding. And when we become fixed in that understanding, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam, Mukta Sangasya Jayate, we become liberated. In Bhagavad Gita, elsewhere Krishna said, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo janati tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so arjuna. So the Lord says the same thing. If one can understand my janma, my activities in truth, in Vishnu Tattva, Bhagavat Tattva, Krishna Tattva, if we can understand that Vijnanam, that science we can understand properly, Krishna said, they have no more birth, they'll come back to me in the spiritual world. So same thing here also, it said Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Then we actually become liberated. But otherwise, other liberations, people are trying by Gnana Yoga, by so-called meditation, they will fall down. Bhagavatam says, Patanti Adaha. It is not a permanent kind of liberation. The Sayujya Mukti, the Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, reaching that stage, it is not permanent liberation. Permanent liberation, permanent existence only happens through Bhakti Yoga, only happens through devotional service to Krishna. So it is very, very clear. The verses of Bhagavatam one by one, or every word in the Bhagavatam is very, very clear. So then 21. Vidyate hridaya grantish chidyante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani drishta evatmani shvare. So then, after this Sattva-guna, after understanding Bhagavat Tattva, Krishna Tattva, understanding Krishna's actual position, realizing Krishna's position, having the darshanam of the Lord, darshan of the Lord. So it is said, what will happen? Vidyate hridaya granthi. So in the hridaya, in the heart, the soul, we are situated in the heart region. That's why we show I am here. We don't say myself. We always say myself, pointing to our chest or to our heart, we say. So we are situated there, as covering our existence is the material mind. So mind is also said to be that way, heart and mind. So it is sometimes explained synonymously, heart and mind. So it is telling in that region, in that place, in the soul, there we have a heart, not in the heart. The knot, Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, the knot of identification with the matter. I am spirit, soul, I am Brahmasmi, I am Atma, but I have identified myself with this body, this material body, this, I'm thinking I am a man, I am a woman, I am, so this identification is very, very forceful, very, very forceful. So it is said, in this stage, this knot will get cut. So we make knots, we tie threads, one thread. Then sometimes it is not very tight, very loose. So we tie one more thread. Then we tie our dhoti also. When Matajis tie their sari, I think they tie one knot, then they tie another knot. Suppose like that, one knot, two knot. As the knots increase, it becomes very, very tight. Similarly, this body, how we have identified ourselves, it is said it is very, very difficult. Sometimes the knots are so many, so particularly in the thread, We have a bundle of the rope. It has so many things. It has come up. Finally, we say, better cut it, because the knots are very difficult to remove. But anyway, here it is said, uh, whatever the knot, whatever the deep knot that we have identified ourselves materially in this material world, so that will all be broken. So by raising ourselves to Sattva-guna, by becoming happy, by getting realization of the Lord. Sometimes it explained, just like in the darkness it is there, we are not able to see. We are not able to see anything. Everything looks same. So impersonal realization is like that. We say nothing, only Brahman, nothing. But actually in Brahman there is variety. When light is switched on, then actually see, oh, there are so many things in the room. There is this computer, I am there, and so many other people are there. Yeah, or in the class, so many participants are there. I can see by the light. So when it is said, when we actually see Krishna, Krishna Surya Sama. So when we see Krishna, and Maya is like Andhakar, is the darkness. Darkness we are not able to see. But when Krishna's sun is the reason, then the knowledge, we can see everything. We can see not only Krishna, we can see ourselves, we can see others also. And in the right way. Today I'm seeing others as objects of my enjoyment. How I can exploit others or other sense objects, I can exploit. This is my vision. This is this one. But here it is said, when the knot is cut, then I can see actually. Then is actually real seeing. Actually, now we are not seeing. We are seeing, like it is said, seeing through some green glasses or red glasses. Everything looks green. Everything looks red. So in the Tamoguna, Rajoguna, actually we are seeing with that vision. Our vision is like that. Our it's not a pure vision. It's not clear vision. So this will get cut. This knot of the soul and the matter. This ahankara, mithya ahankara. Ahankara is there. Ego is there. Identity is there. But the false ego of identification by matter, this will be cut. Vidyate hridaya granthi. Chidyante sarva samshaya. So then all the doubts will be gone. So long we are not in that stage, we have doubts. We have doubts. Maybe doubts may be less. The major doubts have gone away. That's how we have taken up this Krishna consciousness process. We are all chanting Hare Krishna mantra. We are all trying to worship Krishna, serve the Vaishnavas, because major doubts have gone away. So we are doing, but still doubts are there. Sarva Samshaya has not happened. Then Sarva Samshaya will happen when we come to this stage of understanding Bhagavad Tattva, of this stage of Sattva-guna, of this stage of happy state of consciousness, of this stage of misidentification of its matter having gone away. Then all the samshaya, all the doubts are gone. Arjuna says to Krishna, Nashto moha smritir labda. So Arjuna, Krishna, I have all my moha, all my illusion is now gone. Now I've got all of my memory back. Karishe vachanam tava. So I will do what you want to do. So now we are not ready, Krishna. We are not ready to serve Krishna second to second, moment to moment, with full energy. We are not ready because so many obstacles are there, so many interruptions are there. Sorry for the interruption. So that is constantly coming in our spiritual life. But this will all be gone. All the samshayas will be gone. Chidyate sarva samshaya. Kshiyante chase karmani. So this is all also because of our own papa karma, our own millions of lifetimes of our material existence, so many sinful activities, so many punya, papa karma. So it is said, all our papas, all our punyas, all our karma is gone. Kshiyante chasya karmani, all are destroyed. And then drishta eva atman ishvare. Then Krishna, we can see Krishna. Krishna will appear before us. So now Krishna is kind, Krishna is very merciful. That's how he is available to us in the form of deities. So he appears before us even in this form. So we can see him, we can serve him. Or he comes as his sound vibration, in the holy names. He comes as his Bhagavatam. He comes as in the form of his representatives or in Vaishnavas. So many ways. And the Prasada, Krishna comes to us. But we don't have the darshan of Shama Sundara. Prema Anjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, what we hear, the pure devotees are seeing every second. So it is said in this stage, they can actually see. So it says Shuddha Sattva. It is describing the stage of Shuddha Sattva. How, by the process of Bhakti Yoga having gone, when person comes to, you can see the Lord. Drishta Evatmanishware. See himself. So seeing Krishna means seeing ourselves also. So just like seeing in the light means everything we can see everything outside, see everything in myself. Attaining scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead means seeing one's own self simultaneously. As far as the identity of the living being as spirit self is concerned, there are a number of speculations and misgivings. The materialist does not believe in the existence of the spirit self, and empiric philosophers believe in the impersonal feature of the whole spirit without individuality of the living beings. But the transcendentalists affirm that the soul and supersoul are two different identities, qualitatively one but quantitatively different. There are many other theories, but all these different speculations are at once cleared off as soon as Sri Krishna is realized in truth by the process of Bhakti Yoga. Sri Krishna is the sun, and the materialistic speculations about the absolute truth are like the darkest midnight. As soon as the Krishna sun is arisen within one's heart, the darkness of materialistic speculations about the absolute truth and the living beings is at once cleared off. In the presence of the sun, the darkness cannot stand, and the relative truths that were hidden within the dense darkness of ignorance become clearly manifested by the mercy of Krishna, who is residing in everyone's heart as a super soul. Then Srila Prabhupada is quoting that the four essential verses of Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 8, 9, 10, 11. So Krishna is quoting that the last verse where it says, the Lord says, I am out of compassion. Evanu kampartam. Aham agnanajam tama. So I give this torchlight of knowledge. With the candlelight of knowledge, I will destroy all the ignorance. So the Supreme Lord, the supremely merciful Lord. So when He is pleased by our devotional service, by our attempts of devotional service, by our practice of devotional service, then by His mercy, then all these realizations, all this knowledge, all the doubts clearing away, and seeing the Lord Himself, all this can be possible. Okay, 21 is also done. So these four verses today, what we covered, 18, 19, 20, 21, along with this Shrunvatam Swakata Krishna, 17 shloka, these 5 shlokas, this series. So we can all memorize. So many of you may already be knowing. That's very nice. So we can memorize these verses, these 5 verses. And it's always giving us, again, encouragement, again, conviction in this process of devotional service. So it's explaining the process, how we are rightly situated in our devotional disciplines. So 22nd, so it is said, Ato vai kavayo nityam bhaktim paramaya muda vasudeve bhagavati kurvanti atma prasadani. Ata, therefore, certainly therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. So actually, we don't have to invent everything. We don't have to manufacture anything. Everything is there. Everything is in the Shastra. Everything is done by previous acharyas. So we just have to follow their footsteps. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Bahavo gnana tapasa puta madbhavam agata. So Krishna says, many people in the past have followed this devotional discipline and have achieved perfection. So similarly, here also same thing is telling. Kavaya means learned people, transcendentalists. So they are all executing bhakti. They are all executing devoted service. So it is executed by real transcendentalists. It is executed by experienced transcendentalists. But somebody has just started spiritual life. Somebody is still having material desires. Then no. But real transcendentalists, they are executing what? Vasudeve Bhagavati. Particularly Srila Prabhupada explains here Vasudeva, by the use of these words Vasudeva, Vedavyasa is directly indicating Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. So directly the son of Vasudeva is Krishna, in the form of Krishna. Particularly that is Prabhupada is giving much more stress in this purport. It refers to definitely any Vishnu Tattva, but particularly so Krishna, because Kurvanti Atma Prasadani. So that way we become more intimate in the service to the Lord, and we feel the real closeness, happiness. In the form of the Lord as Krishna, this intimacy is allowed. I think in this purport only Srila Prabhupada is explaining that. Or the next purport maybe. Yes. In forms of the personality of Godhead, other than Sri Krishna and Baladeva, there is no facility for intimate personal contact, as in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord at Vrajabhumi. The transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna are not newly accepted, as argued by some less intelligent persons. His pastimes are eternal and are manifested in due course once in a day of Brahma, as the sun rises on the eastern horizon at the end of every 24 hours. So, the speciality of devotional service to the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is specifically mentioned here in. Actually, Bhagavatam is a literature wherein it is directly hitting on Sri Krishna. There are so many other literatures, so many other Puranas, Vishnu Purana, Padma Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Narsimha Purana, so many Puranas are there. But Bhagavatam is where it directly leads us to the original form of the Lord, original personality of Godhead. That is why the Acharyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selected this Bhagavatam, and as Srila Prabhupada, following the previous Acharyas, is also pointing out that when it means here Vasudeva Bhagavati, it is directly pointing the form of the Lord as Krishna. So, having known this previously, all these steps, how we advance in devotional service, a learned, experienced transcendentalist, I've been doing this, I've been following this practice of devotional service, and they achieve perfection by this. And it's a very happy way. In the Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, Krishna said, when Arjuna asked him, two methods are there. The Avyakta way of remembering you, and then as a personal form remembering you, which is better. So Krishna said, that Avyakta is klesha, it is dukkha. And the way of remembering me, serving me in the personal form is very, very happy. So Sukham kartum avyayam. So same thing here also. It is said, is bhaktin paramayamda. Even in our sadhana stage, our practices, our discussing, our doing sankirtana, is all, or worshipping, serving the Lord, is all very, very happy practices. It is not klesha, it is not difficult. Sattvam rajastamaiti prakritir gunaster yukta para purusha heka hyasya dhatte sityadaye hari virinchi hareti samnyab shreyamsi tatra kalu sattvatanor grunam syuhu. The transcendental personality of Godhead is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts the three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu in the form of the quality of goodness. Then after this, the next few verses, 3-4 verses, Vedavyasa is talking about, Srila Vyasadeva is talking about how these three modes are there, and the in charge of these three modes are there. Brahma as in charge of Rajoguna, Lord Shiva is in charge of Tamoguna, and Lord Vishnu himself, the Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, the Paramatma form of the Lord in every material universe. So he has taken charge of the mode of goodness. And here it is said, in the form of goodness, we have to worship the Lord in the form of goodness. So again, stressing that not to get distracted, not to get deviated into worship of the Devatas. So for material benefits, one can worship, but recommendation is there is no need. Directly we worship Krishna, then even our material needs are there, material desires are there, Krishna can fulfill. And finally, he can liberate us from these material desires, and he can give us a clue in spiritual life, and finally take us back to God. That is why it is said, the Bhagavatam says, in different modes, different devatas are there, different incarnations, gunavataras are there, but still no need to worship them. Worship only Vishnu. So that is what here it is said. The next shloka says, which is an analogy given. Parthivat daruno dhumas tasmad agnis trayimayaha tamasastu rajas tasmad sattvam yad brahma darshanam. So Parthivat means earth, Daruna means firewood, Dhuma means smoke. So it is said here, there are different manifestations. Firewood is a transformation of earth. So firewood, we get the wood. Wood is from the tree. Tree is deriving from its wherever, finally from the soil and the atmosphere. So it's a transformation of earth mainly. But in the stages firewood, but smoke is better than raw wood. We take the direct wood from this one, it will not burn. We have to dry it, and all the liquid content, all the water content will go away. Then it is better. But even then, in the beginning, what will come? Smoke will come. So it is said, different stages, fire is still better. For by fire, we can derive the benefits of superior knowledge through Vedic sacrifices. It is all the same thing. The wood is same, the smoke is same, the fire is same. But still, from where we actually derive the benefit? We derive the benefit from fire. We cook something, we heat up something, we feel we use it for making hot water. So we derive the actual benefit from the fire. We do not derive much benefit from the smoke, or we do not derive any benefit from the wood per se. The real benefit is when it is transformed into fire, and from the fire we derive benefit. Also, we can do Vedic yagnas. Previously, Vedic yagnas used to be a main process, particularly Treta Yuga. So here it is said. So really, as through this example, we get benefit from fire. Similarly, Sattva, Rajas, Tamoguna. Tamoguna is compared to wood, dull wood. Then smoke is like Rajoguna, and finally the fire is like Sattva. So it is said. So similarly, passion, Rajas, is better than ignorance, but goodness is best, because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. So for ourselves to be situated in goodness, we have to worship the personality of goodness, the Supreme Lord, Incarnation, Vishnu. So if we worship Shiva and Brahma, no, definitely we can ask them blessings to bless us, so that we can do devotional service to Krishna, but not that we become attached and then surrendered or whatever and forget Krishna. No, that is not the way. So we have to worship Vishnu only. We can seek the blessings, we can ask the mercy of these great devatas, but we cannot say whatever yatomat tatopat. I worship Brahma also same result. I worship Shiva also same result. I worship devatas also same result. I worship this so-called avatars also same result. No. Yeah. Okay, everything is same. So the fire will come anywhere. Yes, fire is coming. Fire will come, but fire has to come when it is dry wood. Fire will not come in wet wood. Even fire comes, smoke comes. It is not pure fire which comes out. The wood has to be dried up and it has to become suitable to then give out fire. Different stages. We don't get fire from earth. We don't get fire from this wood. We get from a dried fire, and the smoke all has gone away. Then really the real fire will come out. So similarly, to achieve perfection, spiritual perfection, that we have to come to Satoguna. Also, we have to worship the personality of Godhead, who is in charge of Satoguna, the Lord Vishnu, Krishna himself. We have to worship. Okay. The last verse of today. Bejiro munayo atagre bhagavantam adokshajam sattvam vishuddham kshemaya kalpate yetu tanya. Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. Actually, Krishna is not even in Satoguna. He's taken charge of Satoguna. Even for that matter, the Devatas, this Brahma and Shiva, they are not ordinary personalities. Our Brahma is pure devotee. So he is also above, but still they have taken charge. So what about the Lord himself, Vishnu? Definitely he is above that. He is Vishuddha Sattva or Vasudeva Sattva, it is said. The pure Sattva Guna, the pure goodness, it is said, it is Vishuddha Sattva. There is no question of any tinge of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. And also another word is Vasudeva Sattva, wherein Vasudeva, Krishna himself will appear in that stage. As we heard, Drushta Evatmanishwara, Krishna appears. Krishna doesn't appear in Sattva-guna. Krishna appears in Vishuddha Sattva or Shuddha Sattva or Vasudeva Sattva. Krishna appears in that. So previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of God and due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material conditions and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world. So previously, so many munis, Bejiro Munayo Atagre, have all followed, have all achieved perfection. So we also just have to follow in their footsteps. So Srila Prabhupada talks about the Mahajanas, the 12 Dvadasha Mahajanas. In the Parampara, Guru Shishya Parampara, so we follow them, then we can also become eligible to achieve perfection. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. So this is what something my understanding of these few verses. So any discussion, any questions?
Prabhuji, may I ask a question, Prabhuji?
Mataji.
Yeah, I've got two questions. One is in the translation of the 21st verse. It is stated, "There's the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces." Then it continues, "The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master." But can we see the self as master?
Yes, Mataji.
That was
No,
my
we are
question.
master of this body, but we are not master of.
Yeah, we can't be the masters, no
We are
problem.
supreme master. Quality of and material world, we are trying to be masters only. Okay,
The
see the
second,
Atma as the self as.
20
Actually,
first.
real self is Krishna.
Yeah,
They're all part and parcel of Krishna, and self is the real self.
21st, Prabhuji.
Atmagati
21st.
Vishnu. 21, no, Mataji.
Translation, Prabhuji. Translation, yeah.
Yeah. No, not only your case, Mataji. When I read like this, I also have this impersonal reading on. Particularly, so previously it used to be so much that I was trying to somehow figure out, somehow see that impersonality is the way. Even though I'm reading Bhagavatam, I'm hearing from the pure devotee. I am trying to somehow see that because that is how our existence in the material world is. It is an impersonal way of understanding. So we try to somehow tangentially take off something we can get somewhere.
Yes.
So anybody, any devotees, they can properly answer.
One more question, Prabhuji. I just mentioned that fire is ultimately the one which is going to be of use. But I feel even wood, Prabhuji, we can use it for construction of temples, and then the statues can be carved, and then so many things can be done for worship out of wood, is it not, Prabhuji? So would
Yeah,
also
so
have
the analogy is in what context it is given, Mataji. Here the context is Srila Prabhupada explains from fire we can derive the benefit of sacrifices. He gives that example. So from the wood, I think directly we cannot get. Of course, wood when we use it as a sacrifice in the sacrifice and get the sacrificial fire, then it is useful. It has to come to that stage.
yeah.
Always per se directly the wood, the firewood we have, the sacrifice is not done.
Statues and gods, idols, and all that can be created. Yeah. I was thinking that way. I was thinking like that.
Yeah, generally analogy is given to explain a particular thing. So in now analogy is about sattva, rajas, tamas, different manifestations. It is of the same thing, different this, but still maximum benefit is from the
fire.
Fire.
Otherwise,
wood, the example as you have given, yes, lot of if you can carve out the deity, Jagannatha is made in wood only.
Wood only, yeah.
And the Lord accepts that form. So definitely we can, he's the Lord himself, he's our Chavatar. We worship him when he's in that form.
I was just thinking.
Daru Brahma, the Lord. And construction also we need the wood.
Yeah, we need
it. Times. Yes, it is used for construction. There are uses. But in this context, the fire is where
sandalwood paste.
Yeah.
Sandalwood paste for the Lord, smearing the Lord. It's also very auspicious. I was thinking that way. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Actually, seeing the self, seeing the Atma, seeing ourself. Now we are seeing the body as a self. I'm seeing myself as this body. I'm not able to separate myself. I'm not able to distinguish myself from this body. I'm caught up in this body. So, Drushta Evatman Ishwara means actually that is my real self, the Atma, independent of this body. Yes, Prabhuji, somebody had something to say.
Yes, Mathura Mataji, please, you can unmute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam. Prabhuji, the knots which was discussed, are those material entanglements? Can we think it as material entanglements, or what is it?
Yes, they're all knots only. But here, particularly Srila Prabhupada purport tells, the knot is the attachment of the identification of a body with the spirit. That is a knot, he says. Where is that verse?
21 verse.
Yeah, this verse only, 21st verse only. See in the purport here, he says, this enlightenment perfectly enables the devotee to distinguish spirit from matter, because the knot of spirit and matter is untied by the law. This knot is called ahankara, and it falsely obliges a living being to become identified with matter. As soon as this knot is loosened, therefore all the clouds of doubt are at once cleared off. One sees his master. So Srila Prabhupada is telling his master, what we are telling self as master. The real self is the Lord. One sees his self is master and fully engages himself in the transcendental service of the Lord, making a full termination of the chain of fruitive action. So knot is, as far as explained by Prabhupada, the knot is the misidentification with the body. Otherwise, this knot, Hridaya Granthi, you will find the word elsewhere. One place I can remember is Pumsam Striyam Mituni Bhavam Etat Tayor Mito Hridaya Granthi Mahu Janasya Mohoyam Aham Mameti. So that verse you would have heard. Pumsa Striyam Mituni Bhavam Etat. So material world, either we are born as a male or a female. One of the ways we are born, whichever way. Pumsa Striya. Pumsa means man, Striya means woman. Pumsa Striya Mituni Bhavam. So this we have this attraction. This the attraction is there. Naturally, it is there. Krishna has made the Maya energy. Pumsa Striya Mituni Bhavameta Tayor Mito Hridaya Granthi Mahu. Tayor Mito. So when this association, this meeting happens, man and woman, Tayor Mito Hridaya Granthi. The same knot. The knot becomes tightened more. It is said till that time, knot is there. Already I identified with myself with the body, but the knot is less. But once this somehow this association, legal, illegal, whichever way it happens, this knot becomes very, very strong. Hridaya Granthi Mahu. This it becomes more knotted, becomes more deeper. Hridaya Granthi Mahu. Then Mitoga Hridaya Granthi Mahu. Atha Groha Kshetra Sutapta Vittai. Then it starts. Then we should have a home. So brahmachari can live anywhere. It is explained like that. You can stay anywhere. But once wife, definitely responsibility is there to protect the wife, take care. So graha, the house is needed. Graha. Then along with the graha, kshetra is needed. Some means of livelihood is needed. Previously, now things have changed. Many times women are taking care of the men. They're working in a job. But otherwise, the Vedic time, men used to work outside. Women used to work inside. So there is a requirement for means of livelihood. Previously, it used to be mainly by agriculture. So that's why Ata Graha Kshetra. Then Suta. We need children. Then not only children, we need relatives, Apta. Then to run everything, we need Vitta. Money, sweeter than money. So Janasya Mohoyam Aham Mameti. So like this, the whole material world is running in this one. So Hridaya Granthi, the more and more knots have increased.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, Radhika Tasi here. We are talking about Suddha Sattva, right? So Suddha Sattva, Visuddha Sattva, Vasudeva Sattva, all are interchangeably used, same meaning.
Interchangeably, Mataji. Interchangeably.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
All interchangeable. So we know the theory, but we don't have any realization. Shuddha Sattva.
Excellent session, Prabhu. Very simple, very prompt, very clear. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
The presentation, you want to present the presentation, you can present, Mataji, and you can try to explain.
I'll share it, Prabhu. There is only one page. Just 1 second, Prabhu. You can explain. Presentation part is over. I think you already did this. Just 1 second. This one only, Prabhu. I think you were telling, I was bringing it in. So I'm just showing the screen, which you had explained. The first column is what you explained, right? 16th was
18. I started from 18 months. 16, 17 was done yesterday.
You started from 18, but then you went to 16 to tell that Bhajana Kriya starts from 17. No? So I just took it there so that you'll be able to continue that. 18.
Yes, I think this is there in this chart is there here, Mataji.
Correct.
In this Bodhini.
Correct. Yes,
So-
Prabhu. That's right.
Yeah. So they are giving the references. Srila Rupa Goswami has explained 9 stages. So 16 and 17. And I think this 14 is mentioned here, Mataji. If you continue further, you can continue further. Next shloka. Yeah, 14. So this first time only I read. I didn't know before. So I read here in this book today that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the great Acharya, he has written a Bhashya, he has written a Tika and all. So he explains it as 14 steps. So I think this here, what is mentioned in the third column, stage of bhakti, it's 14 things are mentioned here. 14 steps are mentioned. In the
That's
16th
right.
verse, yeah, very 16th verse, Mataji, previously.
16%.
Otherwise, generally we hear Rupa Goswami explaining 9 stages. Srila Prabhupada also many times repeated that only. So we say, I have not heard this 14 stages. This is actually by the Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti, where he says, Satam Kripa, causeless mercy of the devotees first. And then, having got the causeless mercy of the devotees, Mahat Seva, service to the devotees. Then comes Shraddha. Shraddha is faith developed by serving devotees. And then comes Guru Pada Ashraya, shelter at the feet of a bona fide spiritual master. Then one starts practices, Bhajaneshu Spriha. Bhajaneshu Spriha means, I think, what is that? Bhajana Kriya, eagerness to hear about the Lord, worship. Maybe Shraddha, it includes all the first 3, Mataji, in the Rupa Goswami stages. So maybe Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has further divided it like Satam, Kripa, Mahat Seva, Shraddha. Further, yes, how the Shraddha comes also, how that faith comes. So that faith comes by the mercy of devotees, causeless mercy of the devotees. Some devotees, somewhere we met, who gave us the Srila Prabhupada book, or some devotees say they spoke about Krishna. So
Hare Krishna, Bhaiya.
So we don't know how we started.
Bhaiya, hello.
So I think,
Sorry, I'll mute.
कल ना हम लोग
I think first causeless mercy of the devotees, like that. Somewhere somebody became the cause for our developing this Shraddha. And then service to the devotees, it is said, by that the Shraddha will increase, will become more mature. Or sometimes maybe we served some devotees, Agnata Sukruti, sometimes Agnata Sukruti also, trying to help somebody who is a devotee. So by that maybe we got some Shraddha. Mahat Seva particularly is Mahat means a great personality, but anyway, service to devotees is mentioned. Shraddha, we develop faith. Then after developing faith, definitely we want to also involve ourselves in more devotional service. That is a Guru Pada Ashraya, shelter at the feet of a bona fide spiritual master. And then we learn these practices, Bhajana Kriya, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, reading Bhagavatam, engaging ourselves in devotional service. So eagerness to hear about the Lord, worship. Then Bhajaneshu Spriya, it leads to Abhadrani, Anarthas. Next, Mataji, you can go to next slide.
Just doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Bhakti. So this is mentioned as Bhakti, loving service to the Lord. So I don't know. But Bhakti is anyway, the whole thing is Bhakti, but 6th one is also said to be Bhakti here. Loving service to the Lord. And 7th, Anartha Upagamam. Anartha Upagamam Sakshat. Anartha Nivritti. They all go away. The obstacles, the Anarthas, the Abhadras go away. Then we come to steadiness, Nishta, Naishtiki. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. This shloka what today we read. Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloki, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So 6, 7, 8. As per Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, these 3 stages are being explained in this verse, 6, 7, 8. And 9, 10 is the next verse, Tada Rajastamo Bhava. When it goes, we having situated in Sattva-guna, we get the taste. So our chanting of Hare Krishna becomes very, very nice. We are happy to do. We are very, very eager to chant Hare Krishna. So otherwise now it is like sadhana. Ayo, when will my chanting finish? Ayo, how will I chant? I don't have taste. So this is our stage. But Ruchi, after Anurtas have gone, naturally the taste is there. So one can chant, one can serve, one can engage in oneself devote service very, very favorably. Ruchi, taste is there. And when the taste is more, asakti, firm attachment. So firm attachment. One cannot live without that. So it is said to be, this stage, this verse is talking about Ruchi and asakti, it is said. And then Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnana mukta sangasya jayate. So that is talking about the Rati Bhava stage, Prema stage. And in Prema stage, we can see the Lord also, Darshanam, Prema Anjana Charita, Bhakti Vilochanena, Santa Sadaiva Hrideshu Darshanam, Harer Madhurya Anubhava, direct experience of Lord Hari's sweetness. So 20th verse, it is about 10. So this is the 14 steps given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I don't know. Otherwise, we can, I think, restrict ourselves to 9 steps. We know what Srila Rupa Goswami has said. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, bhava, prema. So 9 stages is described. So whichever way, more technical, somebody is able to grasp it, is able to understand it, they can take this. Otherwise, 9 stages also should be good enough for us. I feel personally, I feel like that.
9 maybe
So,
the main
Prabhu,
stages, Prabhu, and the 5 or sub stages, I think, interlocked, interrelated.
Hmm.
9 is the main kada. Rupa Goswami and others there.
Yeah.
Suryaprakash speaking. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Uttamadhikari stage will be from Bhava, right?
Uttamadhikari, yes. Bhava, prema. Generally, Uttamadhikari, sometimes definition is given as if Uttamadhikari means there's no question of falling down.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's prema. That
From
that
prema.
stage it can be said prema only. Uttamadhikari.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's
So
no
that
question.
means
Bhava,
till
Madhyama, because Bhava stage they were there. Our Bharat Maharaj was there. Already he was there. Bhava. But
So
Bhava,
he
when Birumangal Thakur, it said he was in Bhava previous life. But they, so that is how it said Madhyama sometimes. Yes.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. Prabhu,
The
I have
other
a doubt.
definition is also there. Some, I think, where is that? In other place. Uttamadhikari by definition by Rupa Goswami. There it is said somebody is fixed in devote service. It doesn't actually mean liberated. Sometimes that is also given. Two kinds of Uttama and Madhyama definitions are given.
Oh, I have a doubt in this Madhyama, that is Nishtha. See, sometimes I notice some devotees are very particular about one particular thing of devotion. For example, I have a friend who's a singer, Hindustani, but then she's now so much into singing for the Lord. She will go on singing. Somebody likes reading books, they will go on reading. So, will that come under Nishtha, or is it because they have a natural passion for a particular thing they are aligning to the Lord? That is my doubt.
So I am not situated even in Nishtha, so difficult for me to say.
No, Prabhu, you're very high. Just explain for us, for our understanding, bro. Like any one thing they'll get.
Badly stuck in Anartha Nivritti.
No, like they have a natural attraction for something. That is where I have a doubt. Like chanting is one thing, which I agree. But besides chanting, everything will come under devotion right now, Prabhu. Like listening Bhagavatam or singing for the Lord. So if sometimes they are very keen on one particular thing. So that is where, I don't know. I'm just trying to understand the theory part.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
So
Hare
it is
Krishna.
by one itself one can achieve perfection. By Shravanam or by Kirtanam, one element one can achieve perfection. Shukadeva Goswami just spoke. Parikshit Maharaj just heard. Prahlad Maharaj just was remembering. So one element of devote service. So that's all. After in that, when they are achieving perfection, they one stage, one is enough. One is enough. One element is enough.
Singing could be regarded as kirtanam, no? Kirtanam.
Singing.
It could be taken as kirtanam there. You're glorifying the Lord through the songs.
Yes, Kirtanam. Singing is Kirtanam. So maybe as they get more and more taste, more and more this one. So that way of service to the Lord, they can do service. The Bhakti Yoga, they can execute like that.
In Nishtha.
Whatever it is said, first Shravanam is most important. Shravanam Kirtanam is most important. So then Smaranam will come. The constant remembrance will come only after nice Shravanam Kirtanam. These are our foundation. So we have we have to do this. We have to do this Shravanam Kirtanam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji,
ప్రభుజీ నా పేరు ఎంటర్ కాలేదు. నేను రిజిస్టర్ చేశాను కానీ నాకు లింక్ కూడా రాలేదు.
Mataji, administrative work నేను చూసుకుంటానులే. శ్రీవాత్స ప్రభు క్లాస్ తీసుకుంటాను. After release.
ఓకే చూడండి మాతాజీ. హరే కృష్ణ.
Sure. Sorry.
హరే కృష్ణ.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, where does dancing come, Prabhuji? Ecstatic dancing in devotion?
Ecstatic dancing. Okay.
Stage?
What element it is? Kirtan, singing also. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's process is along with Kirtan, you can dance also. Chant and dance. So of course, Srila Prabhupada, as a sadhaka, he gave us very simple steps. He did not. The ecstatic dancing, is definitely, it's a prema stage, one we can say. What Lord Chaitanya is exhibiting, those kind of dancing. That is in prema stage.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So we are as a sadhana, we are doing, Srila Prabhupada has given some steps, simple steps. And in that happiness, we can raise our hands and move left and right or front and back for some particular way Prabhupada has given us the steps, standard steps. So dancing, the devotees do dancing. They rotate, they turn around, catch a hand. So many things people do. But generally, senior devotees, Srila Prabhupada disciples, generally they don't. If somebody becomes very happy, very ecstatic, that is different. Or sometimes it is also in a place where, yeah, that way we are encouraging, preaching, and encouraging other people. That's okay. But otherwise, in front of the Lord, let us stick to the standard dancing as a sadhana. Swami step, it is said, Prabhupada's just moving from this way or up and down. So Prabhupada also gave that. So that we can do. Running around, circling, showing our back to the Lord, catching the hand. So these are not what our founder Acharya has given, this kind of dancing. So let us follow. As it is said here, everything we follow the previous authorities, previous acharyas.
Mataji, you can unmute. I've
Hare
unmuted you.
Krishna.
You can ask.
Okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji. Like, Prabhuji, I had met you when I had come to Mangalore. You had come to pick me up somewhere. I was lost. Remember, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's so nice to listen to your class. And Prabhuji, I want to ask a question, like if there are people from a different community like Bengali or Nepali, they want to join the class. So I give them the English link, they cannot understand that. So how do I directly give them the Nepali link or Bengali link? Is there something like that for the temple?
Radhika Mataji, some Nepali, we don't have any class at this stage. I think we don't have any class. Bengali, our Sushmita Mataji, Hemant, I think they take the Bengali classes.
Sure, Prabhu. I'll connect. I'll give her the detail.
Sushmita Mataji,
Okay.
yes.
Because I have given to various people, I tell them to join our group so that they'll be benefited. So this is what, when I send them, they tell me that it's only in English we cannot communicate.
Sure, Mataji. I'll once we are done with the question answers, I'll help you with that, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you so much. And it was a beautiful class and very nice. I have taken a great step of joining you all. So I'm very grateful for this. But at the same time, a little bit fearful about the exams and the coming slokas. So Mataji, I want to ask that, like, we have got on 14, we have the 4 slokas.
Sure, Mataji. 2 minutes, Mataji. I will answer your question. If you can just give me 2 minutes. I think Madhura Mataji has some question for Srivatsa Prabhu. I'll stay here for about 5 minutes, but questions for Srivatsa Prabhu, I thought we'll finish and then I'll come to the admin part. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the sorry. Yes,
Hare Krishna, it is related to Mataji's question only. We are lacking preachers in Bengali. Okay, so if you could spread on the message who can preach Bengali, then it will be very useful for us, because I take the Bengali level 1 class. Okay, and I spoke to Shushmita Mataji. She told you, look out for somebody who can take level 1, then you can continue with level 2. So in case if there is anybody, you can just put on the message.
Sure, we'll come back to you on that, Mataji. Sure, done. So if there are no questions, for Prabhu, I'll stop live and you all can ask. I'll stay here for a couple of minutes so that you all can ask administrative questions. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I think excellent. Yes, Prabhu. Excellent session. First time I'm listening to your session.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Very nice.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much.